live from Trinidad and Tobago.
Welcome to Connections 50 Plus Wednesdays live show.
I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph.
Good afternoon again. It is Wednesday, so it means this is Wednesday Alive. Connections Wednesday Alive. Welcome, welcome. I am Terri-Ann Joseph Brathwaite.
And I am Jennifer Gibbons Joseph.
And we are the co-creators of Connections 50 Plus. So, this is our second week. And yes, we know you're seeing people down there. We will get to them. You'll get to the rhythm of it. We will tell you who they are. And we are in the new style of Wednesday Alive, where we bring in you, our followers, our listeners, our influencers, to chat with us about a topic so that we get the man, lady in the street view or something. And Jen, we in August. And Trini's kind of claim August. Even though Jamaica have independence in August and different people have different things, but we claim August because it is our month. We start with emancipation, we end with independence, and then we kind of claim September too because we go into republicanism. All right? So when we were talking about, all right, so what we're going to talk about now? And of course, we just finished elections too. And it finished, it declared. Congratulations to the winning party. So we have determined that what is this thing called being a Trinbagonian? And Jen? What?
Yeah, definitely. Being Trinbagonian, because, listen, just being Trinbagonian is unique in itself. Because I find we are so different. You find when we have tourists come over and they will say to us they like even how we sing. We sing song.
We sing.
So you start with that music, that sing song. They love the beach, they love how we live all in together. When they come for the different festivals, they enjoy it and they say, all the races mix and all these lovely things. And sometimes you listen and you say, are we really living in this country? What are they seeing all these things? We right here, some of the things we just we don't appreciate, But when asking this question about us as Trinbagonians and what we really like about it, I would say for me, it is really a great life. As a Trinbagonian, I feel very proud because I look at the world news and see what's happening out there, and then I say, what are we really complaining about? Am I happy or am I unhappy? And I'm happy. And what makes me happy is being able to freely move around my country, Trinidad and Tobago, do any things I love, and nobody's stopping me, nobody's keeping me back. If I feel like going by the beach, I go. Whatever I want to do, and at no time do I feel a threat that I can't enjoy the things I want to do. Now, I am speaking from here as a 50 plus, where I don't have that commitment to 8 to 4. So even before looking at growing up in Trinidad and Tobago, I loved it. I really enjoyed neighbors, again, doing things with family and friends and at school. I really not complaining about anything, I would say I am one that love freedom. I like my space and I love freedom. And this is what I have. this is what I have. I have beautiful, beautiful friends. I always say this. I am fortunate. I am surrounded by beautiful family, loving friends, you know, and we do a lot of things. I'm an outdoor person. So I enjoy going to all the different celebrating things, you know, attending the different festivals, going to shows. And that's what I enjoy. In terms of the looking at the broader picture, in terms of what people may complain about, which is infrastructure, etc., I'm okay. I'm okay. The roads, things could always be better. We could, I feel if you always look at the what could fix and what can't fix, we can do a lot of things for ourselves, you know, to make things better.
Mhm.
And leave it up to, yes, we do what we have to do. If we don't agree with something or dissatisfied, we have ways in which to show our dissatisfaction, whether you write about it, whatever you have to do. But outside of that, I'm a happy Trinbagonian. So let me leave it like that so we could bring in the others. I am a happy Trinbagonian.
Great to know. So Dolores, let me bring you in. So we have our first guest, this lady in this beautiful royal radiant purple. Is that purple the color?
Yes.
That's purple.
So, Dolores Persaud-Juteram. Tell the Caribbean, what is it that you love about being Trinbagonian?
Now, if I could complete what Jenny just said, she said she's happy.
Mhm.
And Jenny is happy because she's contented.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And happiness, I always tell people, happiness is contentment.
Yeah.
And once you're contented with what you have, what you do, and what you have achieved, you will be happy.
Mm-hmm.
We are I am happy being a Trinbagonian because of our diverse population. We don't know, many of us don't realize what a unique people a Trini,
Mm-hmm.
a Trinbagonian is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have just come through a very electrifying election period,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? And look at us today. We had a little bit of, a little couture. And, I mean, the whole population
Mm-hmm.
waited. And look at us today.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody happy, everybody breaking. I just took a drive around, some of them breaking the COVID rules. But we are a jolly, jolly, happy go people. I
Absolutely.
personally enjoy seeing my people
Mm-hmm.
going about their business, doing their things in a unique style, in a Trini. I mean, because of my age, I have done quite a bit of traveling in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And when you visit places and you compare, you can't wait to come back to your own little Trinidad and your little space.
Yes.
Because of what? Why you hurry to come back here?
Yeah.
Because of the people. Because of the people. And who are the people? The people we have interacted with from the time we were born.
Yep. Yeah.
We are fortunate in that because of our history,
Mm-hmm.
we have a diverse population. Each segment, each part of the population bring into this rainbow
Mm-hmm.
all the different attributes, all the different cultures, and it's like a nice big pot of callaloo with all kind of thing in it.
Yeah.
So we are very, very unique, and we should be very, very grateful. We should be happy
Mm-hmm.
that we are Trinbagonians.
Yes, Dolores, we are Trinbagonian.
Yes, we are. And because of our rich culture, the rich cultural heritage that we have from Africa, from India, from different parts of the world, because we have people from all over the world living here now, okay? And each culture is sort of like, you know, mixed up. And this we see at carnival time.
Yes.
Right? I think, Jenny, you mentioned carnival.
Yes.
When you see it's carnival is ours, you have everybody taking part in the carnival. And you see that blending of our people. Black jumping up with white, brown jumping up with
Yellow.
black, yellow, red, no, red jumping up with yellow. Well, we saw that. I saw a beautiful motorcade passing in front of my house,
Yes.
and both yellow and black, and I see my girls and boys hugging up. And where in the world other places have their politics, they have their election, and it ends. Look at what is happening in Belarus right now, right? Look at the transition. We are a really happy people, and we have leaders. I must not forget to mention the leaders who are leading us in the right direction. We are growing from, I mean, the moment we received our independence, we have seen growth. We have seen growth. Our people, our children, everybody, we are now more educated. I am a little bit disappointed. What I would like to see, and maybe if I was a little bit younger and more, you know, more active, I probably would have proposed this. I would like to see a little bit of change in our education system. I think our young people should learn more about where they came from.
Yes.
More of our history. And then that will bring about a greater understanding. You see this little problem that we have right now with the racism, and the racist talk and so on. We have no place in Trinidad for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely no place in Trinidad. And thank God, it only, this racism only raises its head at election time. And then as soon as the winner is declared, we get back to normal. And all are we is one after that.
Yes.
So I think for the younger people, it's nice. It will be very nice for them to learn a little more. I mean, as a teacher, I realize that the syllabus needs to be changed a little bit. More of our Amerindian history, more of our African history, more of our Indian history, more of our Chinese history. And so they will realize, our kids now would realize, boy, we're really lucky to be living here and not in India, not in Africa, because what we will benefit here is far, far better than if we were stuck where our forefathers were. So we are blessed. I really believe God is a Trini. I really believe so. Because we are usually spared so many horrible things. I believe that this COVID that we are going through, we will probably overcome it soon. I am hoping and praying that we will overcome it. I'm hoping that people would adhere to the rules and obey the protocols. This is my cry out to my Trini people, my Trinbagonians people. And I am happy.
Wonderful perspective, Dolores. Really, really wonderful. You know, and let's bring in the next guest. And his face will be very familiar to many people through the Caribbean. Our audience should not have a difficulty recognizing Mr. Richard Young, who may be seen as Mr. Caribbean himself of the style aesthetic. But we are very proud and possessive. He is one of us. So, Richard, what is your view of anything?
Well, as you started off, I really believe in our Caribbean civilization. And I think that the whole Caribbean is special, but I definitely believe Trinbagonians are unique, distinctive. We are probably one of the more plural societies in the entire region. We have the most cosmopolitan backdrop.
Yep.
It is real eclectic. I use these terms as like a mosaic because we have so many layers of personality types and ethnicities and religions and festivals that when you come out and look back in, I think sometimes you realize how beautiful it is because we might take it for granted when we are here, living it on a day-to-day basis. And that is what my experience has been actually, because I travel the region, and when I go out of the region, I look back and I recognize the wealth that we have, you know, the wealth of tradition. I am a mixed of mixed breed, and I am Amerindian and Black, and for want of a better term, white. Not of East Indian, but there is no discrimination to that. But people most of the times when I grew up called me a Dogla, and it didn't matter because we have Dogla, we have mulatto, we have mestizo, we have all those flavors of the mixtures right here because we have the most mixed society, you know, next to Guyana, you know, and I like what is special about us is that we are a lot more exhibitionistic. Our carnival tradition makes it a little more exhibitionistic than most of the others because of that little tinge of French culture that we got in the 19th century, just a few decades, mixed with our Spanish heritage and our English heritage, and then all of the subcontinental and continental influences that came here, make us mesh all together. And we celebrate each other's culture. We light dias. We wear East Indian oriented clothes at the festivals of either Eid ul-Fitr or Diwali. We wear emancipation clothes. East Indian people tie their heads with wraps around the emancipation time. So it's all a joint celebration. And I think that is particularly wondrous of our peoples. Mm-hmm. And the thing that is peculiar, is unique, is the people. Yes, it's not just the location. It is the human resource, the way we are resilient, the way, as Dolores just said, we bounce back from some of the adversities. And I like that about our people, and I celebrate it in all of my writings and all of my portrayals and all of my stagings. But I also bring it in to reflect the Caribbean because it's part of the whole Caribbean culture, you know, and I really do feel we are a frontier people that could present to the world a new way of how to live well with each other, you know, and that's one of the things that I push as part of my agenda, doing creative and cultural work.
You know, it's so interesting listening to all the views, because when I think of Trinbagonian, we punch so way above our weight class in terms of impact on the world. And it's probably fortune that we are having this today. Because when I think of Trinbagonian, Dolores, like you, I don't think there's another place in the world with so many different cultural influences, ethnicities, and so on. I think the world is here. I really don't think I'm sure if we look good enough, there is an Eskimo in Trinidad living here. And the thing about that makes Trinidad so special for me is that you can come with your culture, and it's not that it's segregated into spots as in, say, you will find in the US or Europe, you have little Italy, everything mixed. So Chinese food in Trinidad is not the Sushan Chinese. When the Syrian Lebanese come and they see their gyro on Arapita Avenue, they'll say, what is that? It is ours. And the two things that I find really reflect us, David Rudder said it, how we vote and how we party. And how we party is carnival, with all the flamboyance and the creativity. Boy, creative. We could come up with any solution for anything. And then you have how we vote, where forget that we have 15 nationalities here. We separate into two and we show how we fight. And it's all with your mouth. It's all with your mouth. I said to talk now. Somebody thinks it could be hurting. But Dolores, as you said, once the result is declared and the winner is declared, you know, everybody going back to how we party. And it is so amazing that we come together, because so many areas, so many countries in the world, when you have a hotly disputed election, it doesn't settle. It just does not settle. But in Trinidad, it is done. We are going on. And we go back to our creative, beautiful, cosmopolitan, multiracial, multi-ethnic, multi-food selves. And I just find that just gives me, I love to be Trinidadian. And when I leave the country and I come home, I start to see the lights of Toko. You know, you see the lighthouse in Toko, or they're coming over to go Martin. I get excited, you know, like a child and you're looking through the window. I get like that every single time. So I really, really have a great time throughout the year being Trinidadian. Jennifer.
Now, what is great and listening, I mean, and you mentioned when you go overseas, when you travel and you meet another Trinidadian, from the time they hear your accent, they come up straight to you and greet you. Wow, you're from Trinidad, and how long have you been here? And it's, you know, really open up in terms of conversing, because they feel so happy to see you. So you suddenly, and as you said, it's not about, as we say, color, creed, or race. It's about, you're seeing an ex-Trinidadian. Mm-hmm. You know, they will ask you, if you came on holiday, how long you're here, if you have the trend studying. And actually, when you discuss, for instance, I had the experience when my daughters overseas at the time at university, and on the plane you're chatting with, you know, others. We got there and you meet the foreigners who have their children also at university, and they come together and say, you all Trinidadians are so lucky. All the students just bind together, and they may come together and cook, and they have the Trini nights. And so you feel so good about that, as we said, that uniqueness about being Trinbagonian. You know, it's a what can I say? It's a gift we have, a blessing that we have, and we embrace it enough? I don't know. You know, sometimes it's only when it's brought to our attention from a foreigner. So yes, we really like that. Mm-hmm. I recall when I think Trinidad, the accent was voted, was it number 2 in the world? Mm-hmm. And we were asking then, what do we do different? They find we sound that different. And they were saying, you know, we actually sing when we speak. And I'm saying, I never really thought about it like that. You know, so yes, we have a lot to embrace.
Yes. You know, as you talk about that, I'd like to ask a question of our guests. If you could, because I know both of you spend a lot of time out, and as we said, very often you recognize your Trinbagonianness when you are not in Trinidad and Tobago, because everybody here is the same thing. So can you give us a little story about some time that you were not in Trinidad, whether it was in the region or whether it was outside the region, where you felt distinctly happy about your Trinidadianness? So I'll start with you, Dolores.
But I am so happy for this question, because I always wanted to tell somebody the story.
We didn't plan this, our audience. We didn't plan this.
No, honestly, I am happy for this question. I was with a group of my girlfriends. We were on a tour, and we were in Copenhagen. And you know, that storybook, The Little Mermaid? There is a site in Copenhagen where there's a nice big statue of the mermaid. And we were there. And of course, you know, we Trinis, we giggling and talking. And then a lady came up to me and said, you all are from Trinidad? And I said, yes. He said, oh my God, this is her expression, oh my God, the land of the steel band. I said, yes, you know the steel pan? She said, yes, we have a band, a steel pan band in almost all of our schools. I was teaching at the time, and I felt a bit ashamed that we did not have a steel band in all of our schools in the land where the steel band was discovered, was founded. Anyway, this lady went on to tell me so many things about the steel bands in our country. She knew Salif, she knew Desperado,
We punch above our weight class.
she knew everything about, because she was like a pan enthusiast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I came back and I said to myself, why is it we don't start teaching our children like how those white people in Copenhagen were teaching their children? The only musical instrument that was discovered in the 20th century. Discovered right in Trinidad and Tobago. So I am so glad that at least I told you, the story, because I don't know because I left teaching almost 20-something years ago. I don't know if this is now part of the curriculum. I wish it is.
There is an active, I'll let you know that there's an active Pan in Schools program, and most of the schools, a good proportion of them, have a pan on the curriculum, and that's how music is taught. And you see results in it in the junior panorama competitions and all across the board. And most of the schools are partnered with a regional steel orchestra, and there's tremendous employment is generated out of that program.
Good. That's good to hear.
So Richard, what is your proud Trini story outside of this beautiful place? You have too many.
Well, no, I'll tell you two, because one is connected to the steel pan too, and the steel pan one was in Martinique. Because when I went to Martinique, I was in the company of Jocelyn Berrois, which is the lead singer of Cassav. And we were staying at this hotel, and everybody in the hotel got so excited when they heard my accent.
Mm-hmm.
My accent, they all got excited. They got excited because on the compound were other Trinidadians from a steel pan. There was a touring steel band side there. So they ran to call them to tell them they have one of y'all, almost like a member of a species, because of the because of the sing-song tone that we have, you know. And that sing-song tone, I remember when I was also in Jamaica, they would say, "Talk, let me hear you talking. Talk, what the song is so sweet," and I was like, okay, you know, because we tell our things in such a colloquial, vernacular way that we take for granted that people hear that. And I want to reference even Anya Ayongchi when she was on Project Runway. When she was on Project Runway, that is what was so fascinating, that this Chinese girl was speaking with such confidence, with her little lilt from some little island, and come forward and they were like, "What? Who is this? What is this? How could you be so confident? And you are from some prosaic space," you know. But the other one that I wanted to talk about is when I was in Montreal, and Montreal is a bilingual space. They wanted me to go everywhere to talk, just because of what they determined to be cultural confidence. And I spoke very proudly of our space, you know, and I've been able to master articulating that. And that is also what has propelled me to continue to do it. People want to hear it said unapologetically. They don't want a second-rate version, or it kind of nice. Yes. I talk about our carnivalesque traditions. I talk about the way we wear our clothes. I talk about the flamboyance and the color and how we mix. And they want to hear that story. So I have taken on the role of as an ambassador. So I live it. I live it, and I live it proudly. And I carry my Trinidadianism and my Trinbagonianism and to some degree my Caribbeanness when I'm outside of the Caribbean proudly on my sleeve. So yes, it is a little of what Dolores said as well. You go there and you see elements of it, and the reverence for this unique, idyllic space that you're also fortunate to be in, like a paradise space that sometimes we take for granted. I've learned now to represent it, unabashedly.
Absolutely, absolutely. So Jennifer, do you have a Trini proud moment outside of Trini?
Outside of Trini, so I am saying, okay, so let me use a couple of years ago when I traveled to Nigeria. And I was asked, again, we are really seen as unique. You think, okay, you're in a place where you're surrounded like Black people like yourself. So one of them, but the difference, and I remembered, we went to, I'll say a party, a social gathering. And there was from the time the music started, I couldn't help it. And I found they also are people that dance, they love their music. So like them, I'm dancing and someone came to me and said, where are you from? West Indies? Yes, you all have so much rhythm, So you have so much rhythm and we're very bold, we go out there and enjoy yourself. You don't need to know the group. As long as music, you enjoy yourself. And they had formed, I was much younger then, okay? So I had a lot more energy. And they surrounded me and there was, I had a good time showing off my Trini rhythm. And so we are really known.
Were you winding down the place?
Oh yes, yeah, that's part of it. I can't lie, that was part of it. And it felt good because they associated, from the time you say Trinidadian, they say, okay, you have that rhythm, you have that vibes, you like to party, you like to enjoy yourself, and that was a proud moment of being Trini. Yeah. Because they show the appreciation, of the type of people we are.
It is so amazing because Dolores, you got someone who got into our steel band. Mm-hmm. Richard, of course, you will get into the style, the icons, the fashion, and culture and stuff. And Jenny, you went into the music and the food. My moment is, again, when I was fortunate enough to visit Kenya. And this one shocked me because we were in a group of a lot of Caribbean people. There weren't many Trinidadians there. There were probably about 2 or 3 in a big group. And they kept coming to me. And do you know what that bond was? They talked about Atto Bolden. They talked about Richard Thompson. They talked all of our athletes. They talked about Brian Lara, even though Kenya does not have a strong cricket tradition. They talked about Dwight York. And when I dug into, well, what is your thing? They looked at me like, are you crazy? We have long distance. You are the sprinters. And of course, Usain Bolt was the only one. He was the only Jamaican that stood up because he was so outstanding. But as they saw it, they went from Kenyans dominating long distance running, and they made a direct connection with that little dot Trinidad because they saw coming out of Trinidad all of the sprinters in all of the distances, 100, 200, 400, because I think we would have had an impact. Our relay team would have been starting to make an impact at that time. They would have medaled a couple of times. So it really filled me with so much pride that they're way in East Africa, in Kenya, and they're so connected with us and our athletic prowess. Because, and not only in the track and field area, because they went out to all of our sports, and they looked to us as, yes, that is where it's coming from. And I don't say this in any way to offend our Jamaican brothers and sisters, but they what made me most proud is they recognized the breadth of our, in all of the distances, as they said, the 100, the 200,
Yes.
the 400 relays, in all of them. And they saw themselves taken up from those middle distances into the longer distances. And as far as they're concerned, we African, Caribbean, Trinidadian were dominating the world. And they knew every one of our athletes and our medalists. And I was just so proud. And there I was in the middle saying, yes, I don't know nobody time. I don't know. But it really gave me a wonderful, wonderful sense of, we are not a dot. We're not a dot at all. We as much a dot. If we are a dot, Britain is a dot. Ireland is a dot. You know, all of them are dots. But I really do find that we are beautiful. We are special in that way, you know. So what are some of the other things that excite you about being Trinbagonian? Anyone? With that.
Okay, well, I think there's a way that we break the ice. You know, I think that I have gone to spaces, and I am really one that we are all people, and that humanitarian quality I have with me. But I also use what my Trinbagonianness is, so to break the ice. And I will use a colloquialism, and I'll use a little bit of vernacular, and I will tell a story, because we are very anecdotal people. You know, we reflect on our biographies with a little cute anecdote that happened via, I don't know if it's the griot tradition they say the West African brought on here into from our ancestors. We always tell a story, and from the Indian subcontinent, there's always a storytelling approach. And we could break the ice very easily and bring together a big philosophical point in a simple space about, you know, and connect us all and make us be aware that all we are together on this planet is that we are the humans. And then we don't be looking at the race and the color and so. And we are fortunate because we don't have the Afro-American prejudices as volatile and as acrimonious as they might have had it. I grew up listening to rock music and pop music, and I also loved Lancelot Lane, and I loved Andre Tanka, and I loved Indian music, and I listened to Mangal Patasha. And sometimes when you talk to other people, they say, not understanding that, because like Black Americans a lot of time listen to Black music. They don't understand how I listen to England Dan and John Ford Coley, and how I listen to Daryl Horton and John Oates. And, you know, I listen to, you know, I have a multi-taste in my soul for appreciation of art and cultures. And so I am glad because of that miscegenation that we have, that is in our blood, like in our DNA. And I definitely, and I try different foods. So it's not, I'm not a one to say, I don't know how to eat that, I never eat that. I eat it. As long as other people eat it before me and they live, I eat it. So I go eat, you know. So that is what I think is really distinctive about us. We are willing to try new things. We are risk takers. I go try to eat, frog. I will try eating frog. If the Dominicans eat it and they live, that means we could eat it. I will go and eat Turkish food when I'm in New York. I will go to London and I will eat food from some Croatian food. I try any food. If people eat it and live, I could live. And I want to taste it. I want to have a story to tell. And that is a Caribbean trait. You try things out, you have a story to go and tell. If you have a story to tell, you ain't no special person. You know, so that is what I think is really special about us and extraordinary.
Absolutely. Dolores, what else tickles you?
I think what we Trinbagonians really have is our sense of humor. We could laugh at anything and everything. And I think that makes us very, very unique. I mean, we could laugh at serious things, and and just keep our minds alert about whatever is serious, but we can add, we have that ability to put a little humor into it. And we do that through all the traditions of music. We know how to laugh. In other words, we could laugh at anything. And I think this is what I like about being Trini. I like the fact that I can laugh at the humor. I can laugh at the antics of our people, because we could be really humorous at times. When we want to be serious, we could be serious. But most of the times, in my experiences, people make a joke out of everything. Serious things, they can make a joke out of it. And we have been able to carry through, to exist because of that unique sense of humor, that we have. We could laugh at one another, and we could laugh with each other, and nobody is bothered.
Yes.
You understand? And I think this is what I like about being my Trini, being a Trini. What else I like about being Trinbagonian? I think the fact that we can celebrate each other. We can celebrate all the religious festivals together. We can celebrate all the things that we have. We have Diwali, we have Christmas, we have Easter, we have Pagwa, we have Idur Fitr, we have just about everything. We have emancipation, we have indentureship, all of these things. And we come together. People come together for these things, and this makes us very, very special. I think sometimes we could be the envy of other countries because of the fact that we could coexist in our religious beliefs, in our different values, and that makes us special.
You all know a song called If Trinidad Burned Down, Dancing in the Ashes, or something like that?
Yeah.
That's clearly
So
what
we laugh.
Dolores is talking about. Yeah, I believe
Dolores, actually, I was thinking of the same thing, because it is said that we in Trinidad and Tobago have the most amount of public holidays in the world.
Yeah.
July. Every month except July.
So that makes a difference. And I believe having all those holidays, being able to, before you're working hard, and then yes, there's a holiday coming up. So you're always looking forward for this holiday to line with friends, to mix, to just have fun, as you say, laugh and celebrate. And that takes away a lot of tension, in the news. So when you said that, you're talking about the different holidays. I'm saying we have so many. Sometimes we even say, like especially when you retire, and somebody say, okay, there's a holiday tomorrow. You say, what holiday is this now? And they say, sometimes they remember and they say, oh, it might be X, or I'm not too sure, but I know it's a holiday, because we just know it is time to take a break, call around some friends, and just have fun. And many Trinis, they love to cook. So you're always looking for occasion to invite a friend over to make a cook, as we say, So that is so beautiful about the country, and that, I believe, create that unity, that uniqueness among us, because we come together without question there. So if it's Diwali, I know I have the friends who I have to go by, because I know we go there every year to eat. All right, whatever the occasion, you find you have friends to get together and celebrate with. So I just love it.
And Jennifer, one of the beautiful things about that, and I don't know if we recognize how it helps to ingrain this into our culture, because I think we have a holiday every month, because there are 2 holidays in June. That's Corpus Christi and Labor Day, and the 1st of August is a holiday. So it doesn't matter that July doesn't have
And
one.
sometimes you get it back-to-back holidays.
Yeah, but one of the holidays from June could come in July. But the thing about it is that for each of our holidays, each one is celebrated in our schools. Each holiday.
Yes.
Whether it is Christmas, Baptist holiday, Emancipation, Diwali, Eid, whatever it is celebrated in schools. And I think that is a very, very critical part of us coming out of our watchwords, discipline, tolerance, and production, that helps us when we, not helps us, it makes us that multicultural, open understanding. And that is why I think you can find a Trini in every single city in the world. Fitting in, getting along with different people, coming back in. That is why we could have carnival and everybody together. And then we could have an election, pass and carry on. And then when the results, we get, all right, back to normal. Because we know that this is what we are. Because any school child could explain to you why a holiday is happening. And when you go to other cosmopolitan countries, if you are not of that group, you'll have some New Yorkers, why is St. Patrick's Day being celebrated? If you're not of the Irish tradition, they'll say, I don't know. and I think we really do capture our plurality, as you said, Richard. We really do capture it. And it's in our structure, in our education, to ensure that our entire society participates and really gets to the program.
And even Jen and Terry in Tobago, because of the Heritage Festival and the old-time wedding ceremonies and the Blue Food Festival and the
I love it.
And you know, everything, it's a festival tradition. We celebrate the uniqueness. And I think that is really special about us, you know, and everybody shares in the celebration. So it's not one-dimensional. It's multi-ethnic and flavored with everybody's interpretation of it. So we add something to the template as well when we do our interpreting of each festival, you know, and how we portray it. And I think that is really what adds another value to the whole expression, you know?
And as you raise the Tobago Festival, because the Tobago Festival highlights the Tobagonian heritage, and Trinidadians go over there for that.
Of course.
Our Best Village is another crucible that allows communities, because when you look at those Best Village productions, and I know, Richard, you've judged them.
Yeah.
I mean,
spectacular.
If you watch to see Trini,
yeah.
And they bring every part, every aspect, whether it's your prejudices, your superstitions, your joys. And the other thing is, not one of us here is a typical Trini, because a typical Trini is somebody you cannot determine their race. Properly. You know? So I love Best Village. I actually sit and look at Best Village and learn about our different peoples and heritage and the geography. You know?
I grew up at the Best Village time, right through, every year. Being involved, I love the plays.
Dance or act?
Act. Actually, support. Because we know we have to, every year, we go to support the group. I didn't actually sing or dance, but was there to support every single year and champion on, you know, our group.
You know?
As I say, it's the folklore of the folklore, and all the mysticism and the mystique of a Papa Bois and the Laja Bless and the Sukuya and the Dwen and the Mama Glow and all those stories. It's so culturally rich. I mean, sometimes I think we really underestimate the value of all of those implicit underpinnings, you know. And that is what I tell you, as I go abroad, I talk more about it and I make people more fascinated with the space than just hearing about sun, sea, and carnival. I think it goes beyond those things. It's all those little cultural nuances in between the bigger festivals that makes us really special. You know, and everybody, as I say, applies their own interpretation. When if I come to, I suppose if I go by Dolores' home, how she would interpret the food preparation per season is going to be different from you, Terri-Ann or Jennifer, or how my mother does it, because, you know, I can't cook. But still, that is what I mean. There is a way that everybody adds their value and their biography to the understanding of the larger thing. And that is what is really, really, really special, you know?
I think also, Richard. Hello.
Yes,
Yes, we're hearing you.
Yeah. I think another dimension that probably we fail to mention is our fashion consciousness. And
Oh,
Richard, you would agree with me 110%. Our people, I like being Trini because I like to dress up. And our people just love to dress up. You just name the occasion,
Yes.
and they dress. They dress to kill.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's how we say it.
This is really something that is unique, because sometimes you go abroad and you're invited to, you know, a wedding or something, and you look around, people not, you know, as dressed as we will be dressed for a wedding, and you tell yourself, but they have all the fashion houses where they are, and we little Trinidad here, we dress up. We dress up.
Stand out. We stand out. It's that
Yes.
same expressiveness. Is we interpret the fashion in our way. We apply ourselves differently to what might be mainstream. So we mix two sets. We have different silhouettes. We have different details coming from the Indian culture, Syro-Lebanese culture, African culture.
Right.
We stand ahead. We put on a sarong. We wear sandals, bejeweled sandals. We anything. So we don't stay in a mode. We mix up all.
No.
So people must say, where that one from, boy, across the room there? We stand out because of that expressiveness, that exhibitionism, that interpretation of the style. And so again, I left fashion out because I was such, that is me, but I left it. I'm glad that Dolores brought it up, but you know, that is my excitement. My excitement is just seeing how we do it, how they wear makeup as well, the colors that would be used. We don't only follow the trend that is going internationally. We apply our thing because we have so much references. We have Indo references, Afro references, all kind of reference. Every Monday morning is a different thing. So it's really, really special and extraordinary.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Proud to be Trinbagonian.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think even our business sector, the way we do business, you know, normally you look at the other more industrial, well, business-oriented economies, and you still have that, you know, the way we will go into another Caribbean country. So we talk about Trinidadian manufacturers, and you go through the Caribbean, they take over. And no, just I understand Barbados and I understand Jamaica. We are but we do it nicely. We do it so nicely. And you know, I think that's another aspect of how proud I am when if you go to the Caribbean and you go into a supermarket and you see our brands. If you go to New York, you go to London, you go to Washington or Miami, and in a major store, and you go to Loblaws in Canada, and I'm not talking about the corner grocery in the middle of the West Indian area. I'm talking in the mainstream areas. And you go into the ethnic aisle, and you see Caribbean cool. You see Matooks, you know, you see Solo, you see brands that are so Trini that you just you want to look around and show the clerk, look at my passport. I know this.
The other thing too with that, and I'm not sure if we spoke about the different religions, because we respect each other religion. We have, again, many different religions in Trinidad and Tobago, and we respect each other. So someone may not be the same religion with me, but they may have some occasion, some celebration, and I'm invited, I go. You know, I would not say I'm not going because I don't belong to your religion. I
Yeah.
go because that's my friend. I respect her and I respect the religion. So that is something, again, we have that I would say unique, you know?
Yes. And something that Terry said just now, even in our business dealings, it is about the application of creative intelligence coming from us. We find a new way, a non-traditional, a diversified way of approaching stereotypical things. And we still get the same better outcomes sometimes, or great outcomes, without having to do the in-the-box way of doing it.
Yes.
We work out of the box a lot of times. I know, I live that. I don't have precedent in what I do, and I create my own way. And a lot of us do that. We forge our own way using international best practice, but coming up with our own way. And that is a Trinbagonian feature and a Caribbean feature at large. But it is definitely part of what you can see is our way here in the southern part of the region. You know, I know that for sure because that's how I have become identifiably who I am. It's not by following patterns of somebody else. It is creating my own niche, you know?
You know, and I am looking at the time, and we have about 5 minutes for our discussion to wind up. I want to end with a kind of controversial topic. So if we were to consider the Caribbean, because Caribbean is our, and the two, would we agree that the two dominant identities for the Caribbean would be Jamaican or Trinidadian? We'd agree in terms of culture, in terms of business, in terms of music, in terms of all kinds of stuff. But when we really look at it, which culture do you think has most influenced the Caribbean? Has Trinidadianness seeped up and influenced a lot, or has Jamaicanness seeped down and influenced a lot? What do you all think? It's okay, they won't throw stones at us, choose you.
I think that the Jamaican flavor got a head start. And Bob Marley and Peter Tosh and reggae hit the world by storm. And that head start still supersedes everything. You go through the region and there are people speaking with Jamaican accents in small communities who are Rasta oriented or reggae focused. And that amazes me. I am talking about the Jamaican accents never even going 10 feet out in the water to be offshore enough. So I definitely say that, and I don't feel bad about it. I think that that head start is great, and they lead in the identity branding for the region. Unfortunately, sometimes when I go to spaces that are not so popular, they say, which part of Jamaica Trinidad is from?
Yes.
You know? But I think our flavor is in our multi-dynamic, versatile flavor because it has the French, Spanish, Dutch, everything mixed up. So that is permeating this the thing upward. But definitely, I think, from a cultural point of view, the reggae started Caribbean branding in a huge way. And a lot of some of the ideologies, the Garveyite thinking, and so that was part of the early part of the last century, had a Jamaican root, you know? Yes, we had our Eric Williams and so, but a lot of it started there as a connection to international Black consciousness. So I respect that. And we are now invading the space with our soca and our Marshall and our Destra. And, you know, and I think it's our time, it's becoming. We are in the stage of becoming.
Yeah, yeah. And I would say even our chutney is going into Guyana and changing and bringing them along on the soca train. Dolores, what do you think about that? Our influence north and south.
I think we might need another hour to discuss because you all, both you and Richard, you focus on the music, okay? But I think I could disagree. Yes, the music, yes, but I think our democracy, we are an example for a lot of countries in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Our transition, right, from one party to the next,
No
especially
violence.
at the election time, we know how to uphold our democracy. And I think that will need another hour for me to really, expound on it. So with that, I think I agree, the music, yes, but I would say, I could argue that our democracy.
Yeah.
But I agree with you too. So we got.
So we don't need a debate.
We don't need a debate. I would be joining you.
For me too, outside of the music part, but I see that we are really well known for our sportsmen. Yes, Jamaica may be in some way, but all round, I think Trinidad for sports. I think Trinidad, and I know, Richard, you're in the beauty business, so for me too, I see Trinidad when people speak easily, they say, oh yes, you all are known. We're talking about in the region, we are known for the beauty business. We are also known to, and still much more, for the steel band and carnival. So I think when you wait, we are ahead in the different areas. We may not be ahead in music.
Reggae.
When you look at all the other areas, I think if you list 5 areas, we're ahead in 4. You know, and so I believe our name, Trinidad and Tobago, is very well known in the region. First, Dolores will say the politics aspect, democracy, for sports, for the beauty queens, for definitely steel band and carnival, producing fantastic costumes that we can export throughout the region.
Food, Jennifer, food.
Food, well, food is, I need food for you, Terri-Ann.
There is no other, I'm going to say this, I'm just thinking a little bit to make sure, there is no other Caribbean country that can take ownership of a food culture that is as exciting, as diverse, as delicious as Trinidad and Tobago. None. Barbados, yes, I know the flying fish is the best, and the cuckoo, yes. Jamaica, peas and rice, ackee, yes.
They make a good curry goat too, huh?
Yeah, the curry goat, a curry goat, and in Guyana you have the chicken curry and the different things. But if you can have a buffet with Trini food, and that has such variety, such all the styles mix up in where food is concerned. Oh, what did Benjai say? They love how we look. They love how Trini cook. But Jennifer, this is an exciting talk.
Yes.
To bring it on, and we do. We are 2 minutes over our hour.
So we have to thank our guests, Dolores and Richard. Really, the conversation, your information, your experience definitely has added so much to making this show a fantastic one, very informative, very exciting. So thanks again for joining us. We'll always be able to call on you. Dolores, I know you have so much information to share again on different areas, and Richard. So we will be calling you all again.
Definitely.
Thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
A pleasure being here. Pleasure.
So it is post-election, so we're back to normal. So we start in independence, and we start independence celebrations with, what do you think of being Trinbagonian? So Caribbean, all of us are honorary Trinidadians, Barbadians, Jamaicans, always one. So
always one.
Always one family.
Yes.
Jennifer, we have to remind our people, please look below on Facebook. You'll see some interesting things coming up.
Yes, definitely.
We are out of time. So, bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.